Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about the Sony A7 III paired with the 24mm f1.4. If you guys are not using this combination, you're missing out. It has a lot of great features behind it, but having that different focal length really allows you to add more textures onto the photo, like having your clouds or the foreground, be it you're in nature or in the city or anything of that, such. So I really want to go ahead is take you guys behind the scenes and just show you how I shoot, my overall thought process, and just be able to get you to the state where what I'm thinking of and what I'm doing with this lens in combination. And hopefully at the end of it, it sparks you to be able to use this focal length for your portraits and really just experiment in a different capacity. So let's go ahead and dive into the video. I'll do some voice recording and I'll be able to show you guys some photos along the way. All right guys, so diving into this location, I wanted to make sure I picked a spot that had a different lot of elements into it, as a city vibe, a nature vibe, and also the sunset being right behind her. And just made sure that my subject was glowing, was popping, and she really stood out. We were having a lot of fun there, just enjoying the overall time. But shooting with a Sigma right there, having this spot with this wide angle lens just allows a lot of things to really come together. In this space, you really want to use your lines because it will draw towards your subject. You'll see in the photos here how I'm able to use that and how I'm able to use this lens to really make my subject pop out. The colors and everything else just really came together very nicely. The autofocus using the Sigma 24mm is also really great to use even when it's all the way wide open. Obviously Sony has great eye autofocus, so it was pretty easy to use. I just want to make sure I got different angles, different things, play with the lighting a little bit, where the flares, where I wanted it to come and go. Okay, for this next scene, different model, different place, and doing different those styles of shoot. We have the nature foreground in the back. I try to make sure I use her body lines with the wide angle lens with the Sigma. We're able to use those lines of the body to draw up to her and give her that attention and be able to show that. This next scene, having her walk towards me, again, what it allows me to do is to add those textures of the sun, herself, the sky, the trees, and just everything in general overall. We did this shot multiple times. I had her walk, and then and if I didn't get the shot I really wanted, we redid it. But as you currently see here, some of these shots here, these ones are some of my favorites from this shoot. Just be able to play around with the sun, the angle, multiple times, and just really adjusting on the fly. But having that Sigma 24mm f1.4, just to be able to allow to have all those different elements in the photos really helped just bring the subject to life, to make it pop, as I mentioned prior. So for this next scene, we went ahead, just transitioned a little bit back. We wanted to get into the grass, just be able to show her being in there, as well as the sun, the trees right behind her. It was during golden hour, so it really allowed her just to have some texture using her hair. Her hair being brown and that golden color just really made sure it radiated and it popped out. So using the Sigma really helped to capture that, illustrate that. Now me behind the lens, the way my settings were per se during this situation, I always keep my ISO very low, normally 100, which is the native ISO, or we go lower up to 50. And then at that point I keep my aperture still 1.4. and then I just adjust my shutter speed. I think in this one I had it like probably 1,000, and then in post, sometimes I shoot a little bit underexposed so that I can retain the highlights. And then I know that the dynamic range in the Sony A7 III is great, so I recover my shadows that way, and this allows for even toned and not having to use any flash or any other external devices. So here at the model change position, just want to use my angles in different ways to capture different scene. In this case, I have her looked over shoulder on her side profile, and that really allowed for just a different look, way that the light is hitting her, the spectrum as well. And then just using your angles, and when you're shooting low and looking up, it really allows the model or your subject to have a real powerful stance. And for this case, anytime I shoot women particularly, and men as well, but I want to make sure that they have an empowering stance and where you're looking up to them. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I enjoy using this, because this lens is The A really allows you to capture that different perspective. Normally 85mm 1.8 won't allow for that type of look, just because you're usually shooting at eye level, and sometimes using that really close focal length doesn't allow for that. So it was pretty hot, as you guys can tell, but I was surviving, she was too as well. We were having a lot of fun just joking around, but the next couple photos coming up are one of my favorites that I want to share with you guys right now. Alright guys, so these photos are my absolute favorite. It just really brings all the elements together. Be able to highlight her off, as well as the other elements around with the lighting, her hair, the texture with the grass. And this tall grass scene is my favorite, absolute favorite. And all these elements really just come together to set the mood, set the tone, and the Sigma 24mm allow that to happen. Scene. I'm still trying to take advantage of the elements that are around me. In this case, we have the goalpost with a soccer net. Having that texturized net right there with her really just makes her pop out when you're shooting from that low angle, as well as you can see her body lines are kind of coming towards me, so that helps me get a direct line towards her face and just use her body as a line or a guide to bring it more in focus and really to highlight her. And that's what's really going on when I use any type of wide angle lens. Again, she's also backlit as well, which helps in this case just to make her even stand out even more. And just the overall element and the texture that's all around us really helps the photos and also her stand out a lot. In this case, we take advantage of this little scene in different ways, which you guys are going to see with the different photos. But it's always important just to see what's around you. And when you're using a wider angle lens, you start to think in that way of how can I use this as an element or as a guide that can make this model or this subject pop out even more. And so you're going to see in these photos how much she really just overall pops out. And let me know what you guys think in the comment down below, and let me know if you like this style or if you don't. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you went ahead and liked it, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, leave a comment down below on thoughts for any future videos. But with that being said, peace.